Welcome back, everybody. It's Captain D, and this is part 2 of my review of the TorqeSim aircraft development Take Command SR22 series. In this video, we will take a very short IFR flight from Pasco, Washington to Walla Walla, Washington. It's about 45 nautical miles. Should take us about 15 to 20 minutes, where we will shoot an approach into runway 20 and see how the autopilot flies the approach. I'm running custom weather on this flight. I wanted to include some IFR conditions to see how the plane handled in IFR, as well as the performance on the sim. We are on VATSIM. If you haven't already, please be sure to check out part 1, where I went through the startup procedure of the aircraft as well as some of the basic features. To save time on this video, I have edited out the startup procedure. I have left in the programming of the FMS and anything to do with the avionics outside of just turning everything on. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and transition out to the airplane and get this flight started. Alright, so we're back in the airplane. I've got the engine started, and now we're going to go ahead and enter the flight plan into the FMC. Alright, just like the other SR22s and other G1000 related airplanes and X-plane, the load airway is grayed out. So we'll just go ahead and put the exit to the airway under there. And our destination airport. Alright, so our flight plan is in there. We're climbing to 5,000 feet today. So most of the switches on my switch panel, both on the honeycomb yoke and the Cytec Logitech switch panel, aren't modeled. However, the autopilot, Logitech autopilot panel that I have, the knobs seem to be working.
Tri-Cities Information Quebec. 100 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10, rain. Sky conditions 1100 overcast, 7700 scattered, temperature 28, dew point 26. Altimeter 3006. Arriving runway 30, departing runway 30. Advise on initial contact, you have Quebec.
Alright, we have Quebec. Let's go to Seattle Center on 124.2. Seattle Center, November 22 Charlie Delta.
November 22 Charlie Delta, Seattle Center, go ahead.
22 Charlie Delta, SR22 Slant Golf on the ground, Pasco, looking to pick up our IFR to Walla Walla.
November 22 Charlie Delta, Seattle Center, clearance on request.
Alright, clearance on request.
November 22 Charlie Delta cleared to Walla Walla Airport to be radar vectors to Pasco, then as filed. Maintain 3000, departures this frequency, squawk 6651.
22 Charlie Delta is cleared, radar vectors to Pasco, then as filed, climb and maintain 3000, 6651 in the box. 22 Charlie Delta.
November 22 Charlie Delta, read that correct. Tri-Cities Tower is actually closed right now, so how long until you're ready for departure?
Well, we'll be ready to go in about 2 minutes, but we can take off uncontrolled and then pick you back up in the air if you'd like.
November 22 Charlie Delta, affirmative. Your clearance is what if not off in 10 minutes, if not off in 1 minute, at the frequency no later than 20 minutes of intentions. November 22 Charlie Delta is released for departure, runway heading.
Release for departure, runway heading void if not off in 10 minutes. 22 Charlie Delta. Alright, so 6651 is our transponder.
Delta 3351 checking in, climbing through 10,000.
So the 3351 Seattle Center, roger, climb and maintain flight level 360.
360,
6651 is in
Climb and
there.
maintain flight level 350.
And he gave us 3,000, so we'll lower the altitude to 3,000. Check. And we'll go to Unicom. Tri-Cities traffic, Cirrus SR22, taxiing runway 30 from the hangars. Alright, if we're not off by the intersection of runway 21 right, we will abort the takeoff. Anything happens below 500 feet, we're going straight forward. Anything after 1,000 feet, we can use the cap system or entertain turning around. Tri-Cities traffic, Cirrus SR22 departing runway 30, straight out IFR departure, Tri-Cities. Takeoff power set. Airspeed's alive. There's 60 knots. And flaps are coming up. And we're turning on course. Tri-Cities traffic, Cirrus SR22. just off runway 30, turning northbound for a eastbound IFR departure. Tri-Cities. Alright. We're in IFR. Autopilot is flying the plane at about an 1,100 foot a minute climb up to 3,000. Pull back on the manifold pressure warning light goes out. Alright, now we're going to go back over to Seattle Center.
Alaska 25 Connect, Portland Approach 124.35 today.
Seattle Center, November 22 Charlie Delta with you, level 3000 on course.
November 22 Charlie Delta, Seattle Center, IDEM.
Here's the flash, 22 Charlie Delta.
November 22 Charlie Delta, radar contact. Off of Walla Walla, you can turn left direct to cities, climb and maintain 5,000.
Climb and maintain 5,000 for 22 Charlie Delta.
Seattle Center, Falcon 502, Echo X-ray, level 5,000.
Falcon 502, Echo X-ray, Seattle Center, Roger, climb and maintain level 390.
3905, X-ray.
United 759, just want to maintain 4,000.
Sending 4,000, United 759.
Give the 1006, expect a visual approach, runway 16.
Further expect the visual approach.
Alright, so we're climbing up to our cruising altitude of 5,000 feet.
Good evening, Seattle Center. Spirit Wings 51 coming out at 12 for 15.
Set the heading bug there for backup.
Climb and maintain level 370.
Up to 50370, Spirit Wings 51.
And what I've noticed, if you get past 80% on the manifold pressure is when that warning comes on.
Seattle, what runway am I expecting?
Last.
United 759 Heavy.
United 759 Heavy. Okay, 759 Heavy, it's going to be runway 16 left, the visual approach.
Visual approach 16 left, thank you.
Alright, there's 4,000, 1,000 feet to go. Outside air temperature is still positive 28, so pretty warm. Don't have to worry about pitot heater de-icing.
Make it 1127, contact Portland Approach 124.35, get in.
Approach on 124.35 for American number 07, get in.
United 4432, turn 30 degrees left for spacing.
4,700, 300 feet to go. Alright, and we're leveling off at 5,000.
Center United 759. For some reason I'm starting turning around. Is that is it my error?
Yeah, it's 759, looks like that this continuity might not have been programmed correctly. Turn right heading 330, vector visual approach.
Right heading 330.
Alright, now we need to start looking at the program and the approach in. So, we want to go over here.
American 37, Seattle Center, Roger. Climb and maintain the level.
Program.
944,
Select approach. And we want the ILS Yankee for 20.
American 37, climb and maintain level 350. Climb and maintain level 350, American 37 seconds.
And we'll go with vectors.
If you could give me a rating check for American 37, I'd appreciate it. 5 by 5. How do you hear me? How do you hear me? Start is clear, thank you. Okay, thank you. And 4432, turn left 30 degrees for spacing.
200 feet minimums.
Yeah, say again, sir, for 4430.
Turn left 30 degrees for
And
spacing.
load the approach.
Turn left, United 4430.
And we're going to go ahead and throttle back. No reason to go too fast. Alright, so on the G1000 MFD, you can go to the engine page, and this is where you get all of your engine gauges, your manifold pressure, RPM, fuel flow, and oil temps and pressures, as well as your cylinder head temperatures, your exhaust gas temperatures, and your electrical, as well as fuel. We've used 4.5 gallons. We have 55.4 remaining. It's 1 hour and 52 minutes of flight time. Range 311 miles.
3350, maintain Mach 0.73 for spacing.
5.6 miles a gallon. Alright, so you can use the lean assist to
With that, turn left 30 degrees.
help you lean. You can also look at your anti-ice.
And 515, contact Oakland Center 119, hangar 7
Or your fuel.
119er, 7
And you just hit the flight plan button down here to go back to the map.
Alaska 1241, Seattle Center.
Seattle Center, Delta 229, here up 6 miles and 2,300.
Delta 229, Seattle, radar contact, climate maintain 7,000.
Climate maintain 7,000, Delta 229.
We can change the map by hitting menu and then enter to track up. I prefer the track up.
250, United 759.
350.
350.
Inside the map you can have traffic, topographic, terrain, airways, and NextRad.
Seattle Center, United 876, holding short runway 16 left, second in the sequence.
And the NextRad shows up there. You can see those yellow are the cells of precipitation.
Center
Green right here.
2633, thank you. 16 right on November.
You can do the same through the options on the insert on the PDF as well. What I normally do when flying IFR is I have one on the weather and one on the tour.
Right downwind, 16 left.
Delta 229, climate maintain, level 350.
Touche Valley weather. Wind calm. Visibility more than 10. Rain. Sky conditions
Zephyr,
200
Delta 229.
overcast. 6,800 scattered.
350, Delta 229.
Temperature 26. Dew point 26. Altimeter
Alaska 1241, radar contact
3006.
Delta visiting.
Alright, so we've got the weather.
2,400 for 7,000, Alaska 1241.
Alaska 1241, radar contact, climate maintain, level 390.
390, Alaska 1241.
United 876, runway 16 left, line of point.
Line up away, 16 left, United 876.
United 759, turn left heading 210, advise the airport in sight.
210 and looking.
November 22, Charlie Delta, advising you have the Walla Walla Airport in sight.
22 Charlie Delta, we have the ATIS information. We're running custom weather here. We'd just like vectors to the ILS runway 20.
November 22, Charlie Delta, roger, turn left heading 020.
Left 020 for 22 Charlie Delta. 020 and heading. There we go. Alright, you can also get your checklists.
340 to set of 18, 3000.
G40 to down to 3000 for JetBlue 1006.
Alright, we're heading 020, still at 5,000 feet, keeping about 120 knots.
76 runway 16 left, clear for takeoff.
16 left, clear for takeoff, United 876.
United 759 has the field in sight.
United 759, roger, clear visual approach, runway 16 left.
Clear visual approach, 16 left, United 759 heavy.
And we're in the rain. Unfortunately, there's no rain effects on the windows. Maybe that'll come later. We've got our ILS frequency of 111.7 programmed in.
Right turn 00.
Down here you can change your wind, your DME, all the standard PFD options, altitude unit, standard button, and your synthetic vision options. I like to leave them all on.
Delta 3351, proceed direct to Etchy.
Going to Etchy, 3351.
Alright, so we're still on heading 020, waiting for a descent.
Seattle Central United 465 at Spokane for clearance to Portland.
United 465, clearance is under request. It'll be like 2 minutes.
United 465.
Oscar 318, contact Oakland Center, 119.907, good night.
1997 Oscar 318, see ya.
United 4432, clear direct to Etchy. United 4432, clear direct to Etchy.
Alright, so our missed approach procedure for the ILS is climb to 1800 and then climbing right turn to 4000 on heading 340 to the Walla Walla VOR DME, 308 radial to Bacon and hold.
November 22, Charlie Delta, turn right heading 180, maintain 4000 until established localizer. Correction, maintain 3700 until established localizer. Clear ILS runway 20, approach 5 miles from EVOP.
196 degrees, maintain 4000 until established, cleared for the approach, 22 Charlie Delta.
November 22, Charlie Delta, report cancellation of IFR frequency, change advisory frequency, approved test.
Squawking and talking VFR will cancel on the ground, 22 Charlie Delta.
United 465, under clearance, advise entry copy.
Recheck for JetBlue 1006, please.
Delta 10-659.
Alright, we're 11.5 miles from the localizer. Still completely IMC. Alright, localizer's coming in. doesn't seem to capture.
American 232, 190 heading 7,000.
So we're gonna manually adjust here.
22, radar contact. Proceed direct to E-Ray. We'll get you in line with the rest of the guys on the team level 320. American 2322, just to confirm, direct to E-Ray, then up to flight level.
Tad bit high on the glide slope, but seems to be doing pretty good. Still nothing out the window on the instruments. Localizer glide slope, localizer glide slope. 5.5 miles. There's 1,800 feet, still haven't broke out.
500.
It says 500. Our minimums are 200, so we've got 300 feet or we're going missed. Alright, there's the runway. Alright, runway in sight, we're landing. Autopilot's off. Over the threshold. And we're on the ground safe and sound. Flaps coming up. Walla Walla traffic, Cirrus SR22, clear runway 20 Alpha 4 going to parking. Walla Walla. Alright, so a couple things I noticed on that approach. If you're deflected a reasonable amount, it has a hard time capturing the localizer. The second thing is I did not hear it call out the minimums that we had set at 200 feet. Other than that, it followed the glide slope, and when it did capture the localizer, it flew the approach perfectly. Alright, well I hope everyone has enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for part 3 of our review of the TorqeSim SR22 series. Until next time, see you later.